Hello there, and welcome to Conversations Worth Your While, a show in which I chat with really cool people about interesting topics to spark and inspire and motivate personal and professional change. I'm Linda Bucher, a master life coach, author, and speaker, and I love helping smart, passionate people to lighten their load, unleash their gifts on the world, and live joyful, balanced lives while they're doing it. And today I have the pleasure of being joined by Angelic Marnier of Corporate Countdown, and she helps people package their zone of genius into profitable online courses so they can create a passive stream of income. So that's why we titled our topic, Packaging Your Zone of Genius to Create a Stream of Income and Make Your Mark on the World. And this conversation is worth your while if you'd love to make more money and get your gifts out to the world, because you have a gift and you figured out how to do something important. So why wouldn't you help somebody else? And also, this pandemic has brought us full force into online learning, so take advantage of it. So Angelique, how are you today?
Hey, I am super duper pumped up, excited to be here. Yes, we're making it happen. So
we're making it happen. I know. Yes. Thank you so much for being a guest. You are a really cool, interesting person. So I'm so glad that you're here today. So can you tell us just a little bit more about, what you do?
Yes, sure. I'd love to. And again, thank you for allowing me, Linda, to be on your platform and talk to your people. So yeah, what I do every day, day in, day out, I really show people how to take something they already know and package it into an online course where they show other people step by step how to get to a goal. So if someone is a great mom or a great chef, or hey, you're great at calligraphy, let's show other people how, what did it take? What did it take for you to get so great at it? And let's help some other people out along the way.
Perfect. Really good. Okay. So basically, it's a more formal version of YouTube University. We all go to YouTube.
Yeah, that's a good way of putting it. But it's packaged a lot easier. So a lot of people are like, well, hey, Angelique, people can just find this online, but people will pay for convenience. And I don't know if you've ever tried to do YouTube University, but you're taking a little bit from here and a little bit from him and then a little bit from her, and then it's not coming together. Here's where I'm really going to take you on a journey, or whoever the course creator is. I'm really going to take you on a step-by-step journey. It's just me showing you how to get there. You don't have to go any and everywhere. And I'm finding that people are loving that right now.
Right. Yes, that's a really good point. And also, you don't have to have 2 million views to monetize it. So that's kind of cool. We're going to talk about that. So there's really like 3 points that we're going to touch upon today. One is this whole passive stream of income. So we'll touch upon that. And what passive means is that it's pretty much hands off. Like, you don't have to, grit and grind constantly in order to make more money. So that's beautiful. So that's our first point. Our second point is we're going to talk about the benefits, like besides the money, because of course that's a benefit. But what a passive stream of income allows you to have, which is freedom and flexibility, because it sells on its own. And then our final point we'll talk about is about providing impact in the world. And we'll talk a little bit about your, people, our audience's specific zone of genius and how they can discover what that is. Nice. So let's start with passive stream of income.
Yeah.
So they're packaging something that they already know how to do. They're putting it on a platform that, on which they can make some sales. Okay.
Correct.
So how much can someone make? Like, give me a story, because like I've got no shortage of content. I like, okay, tell me about this.
Yes, let's do it, Linda. I mean, there are several clients that are making sales. I'll give you one client, Chanel. She worked prior for a bank, and she's okay with me saying this. She actually, got fired from the bank. And so she was kind of scrambling, like trying to figure out like, okay, well, how am I going to bring income in? She and I were working together, and she actually was like starting to Airbnb her apartment. And so ding, 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 we took something she already was kind of working on, and she started making money in Airbnb. And so we're like, okay, well, why not package up a course that shows other people step by step how to start an Airbnb from their apartment? And it took off. Her launch, I think she made $10,000 for her first launch, and she made $50,000 last year. So it's been a true success story. Courses really have saved her life.
Right, right. So basically, it's something someone else needed to know that she just knew. And
Correct.
probably anybody who's listening knows something that someone else wants to know. I mean, let's face it, we're all walking around giving unsolicited advice.
Yeah, it's true. You don't need to go back and go to college. Some people are like, well, I need to go get my certificate in this. I'm like, no, just what have you learned along the way? What are you doing at your 9-to-5 job right now? If you're a great administrative assistant, show somebody else how to do that. Or if you're a great travel agent, or you are great at HR and team building, like these are things you're already doing for somebody else at a corporate job. Why not package it up and just get some, passive income coming in? Or maybe even like Linda, have you ever taken a course yourself?
I have.
Yeah. So 9 times out of 10, if you took the course and you had a struggle with it, other people will too. Maybe you took the course and you're like, wow, I really like this. I learned a lot about how to do makeup or how to get rid of my anxiety. Well, start taking those skills and showing other people. Just put your little sprinkle of swag on it, put your own personality, your own stories, your own struggles, your own hiccups. But you could take something you already know, package it up, and really help some other people out.
That's beautiful. It's beautiful. It's beautiful for everyone, not just for people like me, as a coach and a speaker. I've been creating content for the last 13 years.
Wow.
To me, my big thing would be like, oh my God, where do I start? Which one do I do? And, but for many people, I love what you're saying. They don't actually know, like, who wants to listen to me? What do I know? And it's so the people that I work with are what I call, and if this resonates with you, you actually are one. So I've dubbed us, I'm in the group, multi-passionate conscious expanders.
Okay. Love it. Wow.
I know, right? So we are multi-passionate, meaning we're and kind of people. We love to do this and that and this and that and this and that. Okay. And we're not control freaks. That's not the way. It's because each of those things has nectar for us. So we have our fingers and toes in like 25 different things at any given moment. And if you saw my computer and you saw how many tabs I had open, you'd be like, oh my God. Right? That's the multi-passionate person of me. Love to jump from thing to thing, always doing a lot of different, very diverse things. The conscious expander part of people that I work with, and I am one, and I know all of your audience is, because conscious expanders are deliberately learning and growing, because everybody's learning and growing. We fail forward, it's just what happens. But some of us are doing it on purpose. And we don't only want our growth and our expansion to be limited to knowledge. We want to grow emotionally. We want to grow our contacts and connections. We want to grow our joy, right? We're growing emotionally, spiritually, mentally, like physically in the world, our impact. We want to grow our impact. So we want to grow a lot of things.
Wow.
But one of those main important things is we are knowledge junkies. We're like, tell more. So I'm like the person who, when the plumber's here and he's under the sink or whatever, I'm like, what are you doing? Why are you doing that? Is it because I'm never going to do my own plumbing? No, I have to know stuff. And it will come in handy, because when you are both a multi-passionate and conscious expander type person, the superpower is synthesization. We get knowledge, we love knowledge, we absorb it, we're like sponges, like we love to know stuff. And because we have our fingers and toes in 25 different things at any given moment, we're learning stuff across so many diverse areas. So our gift is synthesization. We can take all that stuff that we're learning, mash it up, and apply it in a very unique way that is relevant to each of those things we have our fingers and toes in. Okay. I
love it. Love your audience. They all should be creating courses.
I know, we all should, right? So what that means is the way I might teach something isn't going to be in that one single lane, right? Because I'm a multi-passionate conscious expander, I'm going to bring so much diversity into the way I'm teaching this thing. And for my kind of people, that's what they want. They want someone who isn't just, recipe driven, because recipes don't work for me. I'm like, yeah, that's a nice idea. Crumple it up, throw it behind me and just cook. It gave me an idea. That's the benefit of recipe. It sparked something that I could do creatively. So for non-recipe people to be able to learn from someone who has this diverse background is really nice. So I really think a lot of the people I work with, who they come to me because they really want to get out of their own way so they can give their gifts to the world. They want to give their gifts to the world. And here's a way to do it. Hello, package your zone of genius.
Yeah, and
So
make more than one course. I mean, there's nothing wrong with making more than one course and having a, school, academy, a portfolio. I mean, and just
right.
showing all your gifts and helping all these different types of people. I love it.
Yes. So let's talk about these benefits.
Yes.
Passive income. Just how passive is this? Because I want like set and forget it. Like passive income is like, yes, right?
Yes.
So I don't want like, oh, here, you put it on a platform. Now I got to have it all over my social media. Like put it there, sell it for me. I don't mind mentioning it, but if it's going to take me a half an hour a day to keep people pointing to it, I probably wouldn't do that. So what are the benefits? Like, how does this work? How is it really truly passive?
Yeah.
And the income piece, of course, is when it sells, but tell me about that.
Yeah, well, you do have to tell people that, like, because if nobody knows it exists, then nobody's going to buy it. But a great way to do it is, hey, even if you just are in passing or like you're a speaker, if you just told people when you speak, that's passive. I mean, you showed up to speak, but you just told people, then they'll buy it that way. Or you can just put up a post like, hey guys, if you're suffering from a little bit of social anxiety, I got this great course, here's the link. That to me takes you, what was that, 10 seconds? So passive in that regard. So it's not like you don't ever have to tell people, but if you really wanted to be passive, you could have some of what we call micro influencers who have like 20,000, 100,000. You can just, pay them a couple of dollars. It doesn't cost you a lot of money, $25 or so. Let them promote it for you. Then you've never had to, you paid a little bit, but you actually got the benefits of their huge audience. So all these eyeballs that didn't know about you now know about you are now going on to this link to buy this course. So it's passive in that regard.
Wow. Okay. First of all, that's such an excellent idea. I had no idea you could pay micro influence maybe because I'm old. I don't know.
No, you're not old. You're young.
But that's really cool. Do you help your clients connect with a micro influencer who might be in that realm?
Yeah, I can. But a lot of times, whoever, like I'm working with some photographers right now, and they kind of knew people they wanted to connect with, like people they're watching. So sometimes, your client will know who they want to connect with. But yes, I always give people ideas like, hey, check out this person who has they had a great following for people who drink wine. Well, hey, if your audience is women 35 to 45, let's put you on there. That's your audience. So we just kind of work together. This is like the fun part. And like you said, once you put it onto a platform, the platform does everything. It collects email addresses for you. It sends them the login details. It collects your money and distributes your money to you. Like literally, this is hands off if you want it to be, but still money coming in. And you get to, look at your account and you'll get these pings, and that means the money's coming in. And you didn't really do anything. You created a great course. You did do something. Right. And then now, instead of like, if you're a teacher, you have to show up in order to make money. If you work at FedEx, you got to show up to make money. This is, I showed up over here and now I'm making money infinitely over and over again without having to show up again.
Right. And what's really cool today is with social media, things are so easy to share, like copy and paste the link versus like, so it's basically like some people write a book to make money, right? They make money if they have to sell enough, and then eventually maybe they get a contract to write a book and they make money through the publisher, and then they make money through the royalties. But that's not so easy to share. Like, oh, you got to read this book. It's just like verbal, you're telling someone like, really? And maybe they write it down or put it in their phone or something like that, or what is the book again? But this is like, if someone's like in the middle of a course and you have their email, and now you can market to, you can, send an email back to them. I could send email like, if you're enjoying this, feel free to share it. Like, like I could just ask them to do that. I can put them into a nurturing type sequence where if that's what they're interested in, I could give them some more, maybe some other free things that have to do with that course that they were interested in. So I could see how this would really help them get to, when it comes to like marketing, right, that know, like, and trust factor. Definitely. Because they bought one course. It doesn't have to be priced a ton. You can have courses they're probably all over the place, right? Your pricing models. Yeah. So just to bring someone to become aware of you, where then you can maybe serve them until they're really ready to do something big, right? Yeah, so it's also a way in, if you happen to be an entrepreneur, it's another way in for people to find your business and really get that know, like, and trust factor about you, because they've taken one of your courses right? So I think that's really cool. So another benefit we talked about is like this, we got freedom and flexibility that comes with with passive, something that's passive, that's kind of running on its own. Eventually, if you do it well, and everybody's got a zone of genius, at least one, right? And if you do it well, and it's really, you'll find it's like trial and error, and you figure out like, this works for me. This one's where everyone likes this course, no one likes that course. Okay, let me create more like this. You just got to watch what's working and emulate what's working. And then eventually that gives you enough income where you're like, I don't have to like get up at 6 a.m. and drive to work and whatever. Now I can just do this. And while that's happening, maybe I make it into a business. Maybe I create another course. Maybe I go fishing, whatever, So that freedom and flexibility is such a nice benefit.
It's a huge benefit, right? I mean, to be able to, be able to have the flexibility to, actually show up for your kid's recital, or be able to go on a long lunch, or be able to take your mom or dad to a doctor's appointment and not have to rush back. I mean, or even if you're like I work with business owners too, and they're tied to their desk. They became entrepreneurs, so they wouldn't be behind a desk, but they are. So it's really cool for me to help them take their zone of genius, package it up into something digital. And so they're like, oh, wow, I don't have to be at my desk all day. I've got this flow of income. I don't have to, reach out to this next client or try to bring in this next deal. This other money's coming in. So it allows you to work from the park or from the beach or from the pool or in your pajamas. Like, it's a really, really great way to just, not be so. When I was in corporate America, I come from corporate, I always had to be at my desk and I was always checking my emails, and there was no long lunches. And, if you had to go to a doctor's appointment, you were trying to rush to get back to work. No more of that. And so the piece that comes with that is indescribable, but it is a blessing.
Right. I completely agree. And because when I work with people who are these, multi-passionate conscious expanders, all this nectar, all these things are and people. And then because they're conscious expanders are more people. So you put and more together. And before you know it, there's zero life balance. And that's the thing they really struggle with. Not only can't they get it all done, that's lighting them up. And of course, they still have the obligations of things that don't light them up, and all this learning they want to do. So if they're trying to get something else done that they want to do, then but that's competing with the learning they want to do. So it's like we're like procrastinators for something we don't want to do. We're like, well, I got to learn this thing, But what really goes missing is this life balance. So it's a beautiful way to find some more balance in your life, is to have something that's passive. That freedom and flexibility is the beyond that, the bigger benefit is balance. I finally got some time. Right. And whether you want to use that time to do some more progressive learning, that's fine. But at least it's your time and you're choosing. It's not like a have to time. So I love that. And then finally, our last point is, and the people come to me because they want to get out of their own way and have a big impact on the world, because they have a gift. And it's like what I say, like Spider-Man, they say in Spider-Man, like, with great power comes great responsibility, right? So they feel that responsibility of getting their gifts out into the world. And they don't know, there's the fear of failure, fear of success. There's all sorts of stuff that we work through. But a lot of the thing we work through is the clarity, but I don't know what I want. What is my gift? I want to discover it. Like I call it, find your wow, what wows you and what will wow the world. And so that clarity of finding it. So because what if people don't know their zone of genius? Right? That's what I could see would be the next question for us. So what do you have to say about that?
Well, I think everybody says everybody has a book in them. I feel like everybody has a course in them, because no one's had a perfect life. I don't care who you are. You've had some struggle and you figured out how to get to a solution because you're still here. So like I said, even if you hate your 9-to-5 job, you know what? You're great at it because you're getting paid. So show somebody else how to be great at what you're great at. Or maybe like you struggled through obesity, or you got through domestic violence, or hey, you're just great at dating, or you're great at taking the perfect selfie. These are your zones, doesn't have to be something serious, but it can be. But again, you figured it out. You figured out the angles, the lighting. Hey, maybe you started your own podcast like Linda, like you figured it out. You did not know how to do a podcast before this, right?
Right.
You figured it out. Show somebody else. So that's your zone. So 5 minutes with me, I'll pull out some zone. Like I said, are you,
Oh.
are you a great mother? Because there's some mother right now struggling, potty training, breastfeeding, trying to lose her baby bump. But you have figured this out, or whatever it is. Maybe you're great at, Pilates, yoga. You're great at. You've been through the story. Maybe you got through a divorce. You figured out how to co-parent with your ex. Like, these are all things. I'll pull something out of you no matter what. You tell me your life and I'm like, we got this one, and this one. Which one do you want to pick?
Okay, we're definitely going to have to talk, because I've got, so it's just like, which one first? There's a competition
Right.
in my head right now. So yeah,
Right.
beautiful. That's great. I love that you offer that service. It's a little different than what I offer. I help people really discover who they are and what they want.
Okay.
Right. But so it's a different kind of clarity and like how to get there to what they want.
Yeah.
Right. But this is a different type of clarity. And I love that it's a passive thing. It's so beautiful. It's been a wonderful conversation, totally worth my while. I hope it was totally worth your while.
Yeah.
It is totally worth our audience as well. So thank you so much, Angelique, for being on Conversations Worth Your While. And I know that you have a Facebook group, which is something that people can join and learn a little bit more. Like, can you tell me about that?
Yeah, sure. So I'm in there pretty much every day, giving tips, giving tricks, showing people for free, just kind of how to figure out a way to just kind of, like you said, get out of their way, but also giving them ideas here and there, or, platforms they can use, any strategies that have helped me out. And in there are a bunch of other, it's all women. There's a couple of men in there, but it's all women. And we're just encouraging each other. If someone made a sale or got their first client, or, hey, did their first video or just did their outline. Like, we're just all encouraging each other. And I'm in there, like I said, on a pretty daily basis, just really helping people figure out how to really get to the goal, which is create a course, get financially free, and get this passive revenue so you can get the freedom and flexibility and make an impact.
Thank you. And I will put the links to your Facebook group, your website, all the other things into the description of this video. So audience, you can find it there. And I'm Linda Bucher, and I help people to lighten their load and unleash their potential so they can give their gifts to the world while living balanced lives. So once again, I'd like to thank you, Angelic Marnier, as well as thanking our audience for sharing your time with us today. And so until next time, make sure you've made this conversation worth your while by fueling the spark that it ignited.